Welcome to the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast, your home for all things football at Waldorf University, the best small college football experience in America. Hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson, from the secret bunker beneath Bullsdorf Field.
Welcome to this episode of the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast. Here we go, folks. We got done with our senior salute last week, and they're gone. They're home for Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, Troy.
It's Thanksgiving was yesterday. I hope
it was.
You know,
I'm going to guess that I probably don't feel all that well because of,
really?
I don't know, tryptophan, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Does it make you sleepy?
I don't know. Yeah, probably. I think it's just the overconsumption of carbohydrates and lots of pure turkey protein.
You know, I have a theory about this. I get the sides. I do. And some people love the sides more than the main dish. To me, the main dish was always the meat.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's how most people view it. But it's we really got into the sides business in Thanksgiving. It's like, I feel that sides came along because there wasn't enough meat. I don't know if it was a caveman thing, you know, like they didn't have enough meat today. We had just a squirrel, no more mammoth.
That's true.
And they're just like, have some berries.
We're all out of mastodon.
Yeah, have this with that, and then you'll have a complete.
I suppose, and it's kind of the idea of a well-balanced meal, so it's not just protein. There's
I think that remember those cereal commercials, though, when we were growing up, and it's part of your well-balanced breakfast.
Exactly.
And you're like, sugar snaps.
Here's some sugary carbs.
Sugar snaps.
Yeah, exactly. They're great.
And then everything else was like, here's some eggs, and there's a banana, and this is like all of these things, and it's like, it is part of it. In the same way that,
well, sure.
Yeah.
But don't eat that mass-produced sugary cereal garbage.
Yeah.
It's going to kill you.
Give
me some Captain Crunch, though.
Oh, that's the best.
It is really, really good. I can't tell you the last time I had a bowl of sugary cereal.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time, but I never missed the little skin hang down thing behind your front teeth after you got done eating Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch has got a special sandpaper roughness to it, but it's so good.
You bite into a crunch. That's why I usually leave my crunch berries, just let them soak up that milk.
Yeah, let them soak a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, I let my food cool off.
Oh.
Yeah, I like eating fast, and you can't eat fast.
I'm there
when it's piping hot.
Yeah. Well, it's like when you bring that pizza home right from the old, Taco Jerry's and Borderline Pizza or Shooters or
for
Casey's.
You. That's pretty quick drive,
right? So you get her home, and oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. You plow it right in your face, and then you can't taste anything for 3 days.
Your mouth is burnt. Yeah,
or your tongue.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's not good. And for me, it's a little bit longer drive, so I relish the fact that it takes 10 minutes or so to get there. Let it cool off.
Well, what we've been doing lately is Friday nights are pizza night because my wife, who's
I bet it's a lot of pizza tonight.
There's going to have to
post Thanksgiving. Nobody wants to cook. They're exhausted.
Yeah. I don't know what the plan is tonight. I'm really hoping that it's going to have to be pizza because again, Friday pizza night, and that is basically the concession my wife has made because I could eat pizza all day, every day. I could eat breakfast pizza in the morning, and I could eat some cold pizza that we had yesterday for lunch, and then I could have fresh pizza for supper.
I wouldn't turn it down. My pizza's good all the time. I agree.
100% true. But the reality is that what we really like to do is we like to go down to Titanium Lunchbox in Britt.
Okay.
Wonderful pizza.
Yeah.
Great locally owned place that makes wonderful pizza. The Santa Fe. Get it?
Okay.
It's wonderful. But then that's it's a 20-minute drive back. So you get back and it's not cold, but it's not piping hot either.
Yeah.
So that might be right up your alley.
Might be up there. I see. I like that. I like to be able to now, Heidi, my wife, she'll say, dinner's ready. And she's lying because it's like 2 or 3 minutes before it's ready. She's trying to time it so that we arrive from wherever we are.
Yeah.
At the time that it's immediately out of the oven. And I'm just like, you could call me 15 minutes late and I'll be always
just perfect.
I'll eat. There's no question about that. Yeah. So I don't like it super hot.
I like my coffee super hot.
again, I put ice. If I'm just bringing straight black coffee, I'll throw a little ice in the bottom.
Nope.
It's not iced coffee, but it's in a Yeti, so it maintains the perfect temperature.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like
it's too hot.
I like
if you put it in a Yeti and it's piping hot, it'll stay that way.
Yeah,
I've
got an Arctic big old jug.
Same deal, yeah.
Yep, same deal. And so it's hot throughout the morning, and that I can suck that. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, you can have like the big whatever those are,
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of
whatever they're called.
Yeah.
And some people use them for cold drinks as well.
Yeah. They really do hold the heat there, though.
They do.
So, are you? What's the traditional thing for you? Obviously, is it? You said tryptophan, so turkey's.
Yeah, we have
part
turkey.
Of it. Everybody's
course,
got
yeah,
turkey.
We're going to do turkey, and then my wife.
Turkey farmers really made out on that deal, didn't they?
Didn't they?
Convinced an entire nation that this is what the Pilgrims ate.
But the best part about this time of year is that when you go over to the big box stores, because you have to go get whatever you need, but then they'll have their turkeys on sale for 79 cents, 99 cents, and we always pick a couple of them up. We don't make any turkey because usually it's my mother or my sister is making the turkey.
Okay.
So we'll have a big old 20 pounds of bird, but we'll always buy a 13, 15-pound bird because who doesn't like turkey? I did that for the coaches. For the last home game.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, turkey's very good.
Love turkey.
It's weird that we only have it at,
I don't. No, there's times in the
time.
middle of summer, it's like, hey, I'm going to put a turkey on the smoker.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it is. Well, I sides?
The little bit of everything, the traditional green bean casserole, I don't like the little onions on top.
You don't like that?
Don't like that. My wife makes a cheesy green bean thing that is, it'll eat enough of it'll kill you on the spot because it's so bad for you, but it's delicious. I'm not a big mashed potato. I like some mashed potatoes. I don't really. I'm not a sweet potato fan. I don't mind some types of corn casseroles. I'm kind of a purist.
Yeah, I'm out on the corn casserole thing.
Turkey and stuffing, man.
You leave the corn on the cob for me, and that's when I like it. And I like not having it all the time.
I do not like corn on the cob.
Is that right?
The weird part is I like sweet corn as long as you cut it off the cob.
Oh, okay.
And then have it later.
There's a whole industry for that.
Of course there is.
You got to put it in the can.
Well,
I don't
like canned corn. I like stuff that you go out to your local farmer and buy some sweet corn.
Oh, but you just cut it off.
Come home, right. Throw it in some boiling water for a few minutes, cut it off, freeze it, and then,
You like corn off the cob.
I do.
Okay.
I have no romantic notions of eating corn on the cob.
I just like it better. I don't know why. Slathered with butter and salt, and I just I don't know. My mustache smells like butter for quite a while actually after that.
That's glorious. Absolutely.
I'm though with you. I don't want any corn casserole.
I do like some. My wife is a wonderful cook.
And you like cream corn though?
No, don't like cream corn. My wife makes a corn casserole with what am I trying to say? Cornbread. So it's kind of. There's a little bit of corn in there. That's
pretty
very tasty.
Yeah.
But I just
double corn. You got really corning it up there.
Exactly. You bet you get to enjoy that a couple times.
Heidi makes some of the best mashed potatoes in the world, in my opinion. But I'm not tested all the mashed potatoes in the world, so she really doctors them up really well.
Safe thing to say. What does she like to put in them?
She's got all the stuff that you'd basically have in a baked potato.
Yeah,
but not like the bacon bit, all that loaded stuff. But
that's
just
not bad.
That wouldn't be a bad idea now that I think about it. A ton of butter and
cream cheese and butter and then some seasoning. Oh, absolutely.
She nails it.
Yep. And then I'm not a big fan of chunky mashed potatoes.
No,
I like them creamy.
Yeah. But real.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't get them out of a box.
No, and I feel bad if our listeners do get them out of the box, at least for Thanksgiving. Take the extra effort. That's why nobody can cook. It's Friday, and everybody's like, I'm exhausted.
But it costs like $4 for like 5 pounds of potatoes. I don't know. You could probably get them on sale.
Yeah.
And they're not great for you. You should eat a lot of potatoes. But they're not.
Is
bad
that right?
Well, a lot of starch.
I knew that.
I prefer my potatoes French fried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's how a lot of people like them. She does take the green bean casserole. It's 100% scratch. So those onions on top are those are onions, not the French's or whatever. Yeah, you sprinkle them. That's cheating.
And you know what? Will I eat it? Of course,
that's church lady cheating. There is what that is.
I'll eat that. I mean, I don't. It's not my favorite thing in the world. But you know, at the same time, what the heck? You know, I'll try a little bit of everything because our family tradition. I know what yours is, and you'll have to talk about that. But our family tradition, after the meal, usually an hour or two later, we have a pie contest. And, oh yeah, we've got a little pie serving spatula that's got the year and who won it, and so yeah, whoever wants to enter brings a pie.
Nice.
And so you get a little taste of pie, and then you go in and you vote, and then everybody tallies the votes, and a winner's declared.
Wow, I this year for Thanksgiving, our son Colin, number 4, he is number 4 in the order of boys born not on the team. Clearly, this is a thing about Waldorf football.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, right. But yeah, he key lime pie.
Ooh,
it's his favorite pie, and he says I'm going to make it.
Good for him.
So obviously we're recording this before Thanksgiving, so I have no idea how it turned out, but I'm going to say it was good.
Well, maybe our next episode we can talk a little bit, or maybe he could make 2, and we could sample. Colin's key lime pie.
Here. Make 2, you throw it in, slide it in the contest, say it's yours, and if you don't win, you're like, it was terrible.
Yeah. Pass the salt box.
Pass the salt box. That's right. Yeah. Well, we have a family. Everybody comes home for that, and the kids and our daughter-in-law now, and all of that fun stuff. And so, we're actually. I wish I had. It's too bad that Thanksgiving. I mean, it's great that Thanksgiving's on a Thursday.
Yeah,
I like the alliteration. Seems like the place that it should be. It always has been, I guess. But man, I really wish that we would record this on a Friday so that I could tell you what I think. I've never met my son Tanner has a girlfriend, and she's coming to Thanksgiving.
Nice.
So I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
we're excited about it, but we don't know. We haven't met her, so
Where's the young lady from?
Wisconsin.
Good. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Well,
she's a hardy stock.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that we know that much. Yeah.
Well,
seems like a very nice person. Haven't talked to her yet.
And if you can't get,
she is a Packers fan, and she's going to wear the Packers jersey, and so
good for her
in a house full of Vikings. So also can hold her own.
Yeah, that's good. And and it's one like if your sons don't marry Iowa girls, which you should, next best choice is Wisconsin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that state. Love Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's great.
Almost every part of it.
It's got more lakes than Minnesota.
Well, but they don't brag about it.
That's exactly
Well, what else does Minnesota have going for it? Because Wisconsin got a lot of lakes. You got cheese. You got beer. You got a bar every 3.4 miles.
See, that's the best thing.
Yeah.
I'll say that about Wisconsin is that, I mean, I lived there in River Falls for a year.
Oh, nice.
And I thought it was great because I would be on sales routes, and well, people don't know, but I was a salesman. Surprise, surprise. And yeah, you'd be out in the country and be like, hey, there's a bar.
Hey, you want an old style over there?
Yeah, I do. It's 2:00 in the afternoon and there's like 4 cars out there and you're in the middle of nowhere. Like, who is this customer base?
Great people.
They're all out.
Yeah.
After Ruth's Circle in River Falls, all the church ladies are in the bar.
Well, absolutely. Drinking the old style.
They're doing a great
job. Good for them.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about your son. I got to spend a little bit of time with him on last Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Colin was helping out, and so was Jack, actually.
Yes, Jack did a lot of driving, and Colin
Jack was a truck driver.
Yeah, and Colin was, he just stayed right in there working the whole time, and we had to come out here to your place.
That's right.
To get a
thank you for doing that.
And then we had to go over to your dad's and get a saw, and I told Colin, I said, hey, I'm just going to park here, and you're going to get out, and I want you to make sure that if your grandma's home that she doesn't just start shooting.
Yeah.
I said, so make sure she sees you, because, I don't want to be the guy sitting.
She was home.
Well, I don't want to be sitting in the unfamiliar pickup.
Yeah.
And then have the door to the shop open.
Yeah, good point. I didn't think about that.
Well,
and she was in a mood, from what I understand. I can say she listens to my other podcast, but she does not. I don't think she listens to this one. So I can say she was in a mood, according to my dad. My dad helped out all day. We went in 7:30 in the morning.
Your dad was a rock star.
He's really good on the skid loader, the grapple bucket. Just kept going. Actually, we had a couple great guys on. We had 3 skid steers going with grapples. Yeah. Found out, Coach Clary, quite the operator.
He's great.
Yeah, he was running one all day, and then we had Mark Helgeson come over from the golf course.
Nothing he can't do.
Absolutely. Well, he couldn't do what we were doing because he had winged himself somehow, so he was kind of a one-handed operator that day, but he did a great job too. Yeah, my mom was making when my dad got in the truck and picked him up, we loaded up the skid loader and bringing it in, and he's like, "Whoa, your mom's not in a good mood today." And I was like, "Oh, I mean,
okay,
she usually is, but not when she's not. It. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, "What's going on?" And he said, "Well, the church that I grew up in always does a Thanksgiving dinner. The Sunday before Thanksgiving. I guess some churches do that. We did as I grew up that way, and so I forgot that was the situation. And they cook. I mean, I don't know how many turkeys, and because they're cooking so much, they do it a day in advance.
Yep,
and et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, she was furious because everybody that could help was busy. In my family, we've always wondered what it's like to be busy. Wonder what it's like for all these folks that are busy.
Yeah, right.
But I'm thankful. Yeah, so I get that from my mom. I'm like, and when people say, "Man, I'm really busy," I'm like, "I bet you are. I wonder what that's like." Meanwhile, a zillion things going on, you know. But I hope that, so she got it done because she always does. And she had some help. My dad's funny because he's like, the ones that do help, they're not even any help. So, you know how it is. And so he was happy to escape for the day and work in the skid loader, listen to the radio and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So, we did not have that problem with help on Saturday.
We had great help too.
For those who aren't caught up to what we're talking about, we cut down those ash trees. It was quite an operation. We're calling it Rise from the Ashes, and we had, I don't know, I think we had like 30 people. I'm guessing. I didn't the final count.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty close.
And we had 2 trucks with the dump trailers going, and that was a little bit of a bottleneck. But we got it done, and then about 12:30, my neighbor Todd Lewis showed up with a semi truck and side dump. Yeah, and that was and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, we better get the rest of these trees cut down.
Yeah, I know.
We were way ahead of the
as soon as that side dump showed up, it was like, ooh, there they are.
Yep.
And it was kind of all hands on deck and cut as fast and as much as you can. But the nice thing about the side dumps is you didn't have to limit, like, well, we got to make sure these are only about 10, 12 feet.
Yeah.
And it was just like, just start cutting them, boys.
Yeah.
Get them stacked out there.
And that was a real relief. He stayed until I think almost 5 that night, just to haul some of the bigger limbs that we had cut and separated out to the dump site there. It was a heck of a project. So many people showed up, and we had just members of the community, members of the chain gang, the whole bunch of Chad Gassman staff, football coaches.
Yep.
We had some student help. We had not a lot of student help, but we did have some student help out there, and because they were gone, of
course,
I was just so glad that it came off in the time frame that we set aside for it, from 8 to 4. I believe we started about 8:30-ish, a little bit later than 8:30, and we were done by 3:30.
Yeah,
pretty much sweeping up the street at that point.
Yeah,
city was very helpful. City of Forest City,
they were. I tell you what, Adam Helm was a rock star too.
That is what, he was. That's what I told him.
Adam was just like, he was
a machine.
Quite literally.
I think he cut half the trees down himself.
I would say all of that. Yes.
Yeah.
I would say more than half.
Yeah.
Because you would round the corner and he'd already have them notched. Like, we're gonna have to hook change to this one, but the rest of them, he would get up there and he would jump a couple trees to make sure he's not dropping a tree where anybody's going to be working. But yeah, Adam was just, and that's one of the first things, once I could finally talk again after I got home, because I had a lot of ice.
Yeah.
A lot of ice, a lot of heat.
Yeah.
Just to be able to feel normal again, which was perfectly fine. But
Yeah.
that was the first thing I told my wife is I said, Helm was a rock star. And I said, and you, Troy, your organization was flawless throughout all that, just to have all those moving parts working so well. So kudos to you, man.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I looked at it like a little military operation.
I'm sure
but
did.
I was not sure if we would have the help, and we did, and that was just a huge relief. And nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, we were all sore. And I texted. Well, actually, Sunday morning I thought I'd see Adam in church because he said I'll see you tomorrow, and then I didn't see him because I wanted to tell him how impressed I was. He just worked so hard and just
kept going.
Yeah, never stopped. And
the only time he'd stop is when he'd have to wait for us.
Yeah. And you could, it was like he was watching the Iowa game at the same time on his phone.
Yeah, he's doing a good job.
And so he wasn't. So I texted him. I was like, "Hey, I thought I'd see you. Just want to let you know, you were a machine. Amazing what you did, and just so thankful for all that." And he brought a skid steer in and everything. And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, I am so sore.
Oh my God.
Like he had to stay home,
Yeah, I got up and went to church on Sunday and felt pretty good. And then about Sunday night, my oldest daughter and her husband showed up, and I just remember reaching up to scratch the top of my head, and I was like, "Oh, I tell you what, just everything in my neck." I've got a chiropractor appointment tomorrow that I'm really looking forward to.
Oh, are you?
Oh boy, I can't wait for him to crack me up and kind of like, what did you do? Like,
does he tell jokes while he cracks? So he cracks you up while he cracks you up?
No, he doesn't do that. Maybe he should.
Yeah, that'd be something different.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, because I got to be honest. When I got there, it's like, well, I'm gonna help drag.
You brought the waivers. That was important. If anything bad did happen, we were
covered,
hopefully covered
somewhat. But
that's just
my big thing was like, okay.
Yeah,
I know that I'm not in good enough shape to be using a saw for multiple hours.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it if I have to, but it's like I know that I'd be really, really sore. And then you kind of see like, well, there's a couple saws sitting there, and there's only 2 people on this tree. Like,
yeah, I saw you get in there.
Well, yeah, then once you start, you just
kind
go.
of fun though,
well,
especially when the tree's down.
And I obviously didn't take any down.
Dropping the tree is always a little. You got it. It's just so that's the heart. I mean,
well, we left that one tree next to that light pole.
Adam and I went over there.
Yeah. I heard that there was.
No, it was fine.
I heard it went without a hitch.
It did. It went off without a hitch. Yeah.
I can't remember who came.
It was close though. I'll tell you that.
They came back laughing, saying "woof."
Well, that was a hard spot. They left one tree on the east side, which would be the visitor side of Bull Store Field, and there was. It was like, don't hit the sign and don't hit the light pole, but drop this tree.
Yeah,
we did.
You got it.
And we notched it in the right spot, and then Mark Helgeson happened to be driving by. He was empty on the way back with his skid steer, and we're like, "Hey, come over here, just kind of give it a little nudge that way.
Don't let it go. Don't let it go to."
And it worked out great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it came off, and we ended up pulling like 5 or 6 that we had to hook chains to, and then the tractor that you brought in, that was all crucial stuff. And
on the south end, the wind, I think, just kind of made those trees grow a little crooked, a little north, leaning over the fence.
And Coach Ani was in on like a couple of those. He was a rock star as well.
I mean, he had to leave to go to
marriage
counseling. They're getting married in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, they're not having problems. They're doing the pre-marriage.
They have to do the pre-marriage counseling. Yeah. So he's like, I gotta go, but he was having fun. Yeah, he was working like a beast. I mean, we started on the north end, and then I think he left on the south end. So there was 29 trees total, and maybe there were 6 left when he had to go.
But he was pretty nervous about having that chain hooked up, and just like he's like, man, just yell as soon as it starts to move. Yeah, okay. And then you get Helm that's down there on his knees.
Yeah.
I'm like, Adam, it's going. And he just kind of look up at you and wink.
Yeah.
And not move and he would just kind of use his left hand to cover his face. Like if that,
Yeah.
if that, 26-inch stump decided to come back and plow him in the face, like he'd just kind of go, there, I stopped it. So luckily nobody got hurt, because again, obviously we don't want anybody hurt, and definitely not Adam or anybody else for that matter.
Well,
he was right in there.
Chapa was coach was walking by, and I was just throwing branches. I'd cut some off, and then I'd throw them. A little bit of a whirlwind.
Yep.
And then I cut this one, and it was longer. No, he wasn't there, so he always talks about how quick he is. Or how quick he was, and then I cut a limb, and he quickly walked under it, so the end of the limb smacked him in the head, but it was no injury because he has that man bun.
Yeah, thank God for that.
And it just bounced right off.
Yeah, I was near one of the last few trees. I was getting kind of tired, and I was like, okay, I'm not being super safe with this saw. I'm just doing a lot of pushing and stuff, so I needed to be done and just at least take a rest. And so I set it down, and I grabbed a branch, and I started pulling, and it grabbed something else, and some branch. Of course, I hate ash trees. And something that was all twisted together smacked me in the face.
Oh.
And of course, like any reasonable male, I was enraged, and I wanted to kill that tree. Like, I'm glad I cut you down.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're laying here getting your limbs cut off, and you're just gonna end up in a pile of soot.
That'll teach you.
That's right. So yeah, a very successful operation. Thanks to everybody that came out there. Thanks to everybody that's contributing to putting up the ginkgo trees this spring.
Yeah.
There's still time. You have till the end of December. Please give. We have some very generous folks with the Gridiron Club that are doing matching donations. So if you give $300, they're going to double it. So it's going to go twice as far.
Yeah,
and we're going to get those trees back up. If you've listened to this podcast before, Troy's told you that those ginkgo trees, they're extremely disease resistant. They're going to get about 40 or 60 feet tall.
Yeah, about 50 feet.
About 50 feet tall, and they're going to be big, beautiful. And then in the fall, while we're playing football, they're going to turn a brilliant, beautiful gold. Eventually,
we're getting the biggest trees we can get. That's why they cost $600.
Yeah.
They don't cost $600, but they do when you add, a $30 water bag, 35-gallon water bag, or whatever that costs. And we want to make sure that Waldorf has all of the amenities to be able to care for them, particularly in the summer this year.
Yep.
Once they're established, it'll be fine. They'll grow a few inches, half a foot maybe each year. It'll take a while to get back to where we were, but we wanted to have the right trees up there. Yeah, they're disease resistant. They're going to look beautiful. They're the male ginkgo trees. Male ginkgo trees do not smell, but apparently the female ginkgo trees do.
Huh.
Don't know why.
What do they smell like, I wonder?
I don't know, but apparently it's not what you want to smell. So we are, we've done our research. Very cold tolerant. I mean, ridiculously cold tolerant. They're not native to the United States, so there's not a thing here that is something that. And they've run through so many strains of the ginkgo now that it's just a great tree. And it's the one tree that you can ask the state forester, and they're always talking about making sure you plant diversity in your plantings, and I have planted a lot of trees and agree with that. But this is one you can get away with being okay with, planting.
That's great.
The same tree.
I'm looking forward to, in the next few years, just seeing those start to mature, and it's going to be good.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and I hope people do think about giving it. You give it as a Christmas gift, give it as a way to memorialize a loved one, to honor somebody, a favorite professor, if you're an alum, whatever it happens to be, members of the community. We're going to recognize everybody that contributes, gets a tree.
Yeah,
everybody that helped us out with the taking the trees down on Saturday. And we still have to plant those trees in the spring, early summer, whenever we decide to get that done. And I can tell you that it's going to be that's going to be an effort too. Although it's not going to require all hands on deck, like taking down trees.
No, one at a time.
Yeah, we can do that with a smaller group. But if you have doubts, if anybody had doubts as to whether or not the Gridiron Club says what it means. By golly, we said, "Hey, President Alsop, you got something? You got a plan for this?" He said, "We don't." I said, "We'll fix it." And then now we're halfway through. The next part is the fun and easy part.
Well, and that's what we're all about. It's around our football field and our soccer pitch, and the soccer coaches were there working the whole time. They were doing a great job. And then
the women's wrestling was there.
Yeah.
Baseball coach, I tell you, Joe Touches, he's out there. He was cutting machine all day too. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Our track staff was there, the cross country. And so, it was a really great thing. But, that talks about that partnership between the Gridiron Club, this 501c3 nonprofit. And when we put our mind to something, we're going to get it done. And ultimately it benefits the university.
Yeah.
They're going to have to figure out how to get those stumps out. And that's their baby.
That's right.
But that may not be the cheapest thing, but they don't have to take, 29 trees down, and they don't have to haul them all away, and they don't have to buy up to 60 ginkgo trees.
Yeah. That was my recommendation to Chad Gassman. I just said it'd be wise if Waldorf probably hired these stumps to be ground out. They could do it in a couple of days and it's done. And I know that Waldorf's got a stump grinder, but they got like one dude in a tractor. It's going to take forever. Yep. So even if that cost them $10,000, which it shouldn't, but if it did, it's not costing them $30,000 to replace the trees.
Well, if you're listening to this podcast right now and you got a great stump grinder that hey, I would love to be part of this project.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, hey, so you can get a hold of us here, and we can put you in touch with the right people at Waldorf if you want to donate your time and your labor and your materials to get in there and get rid of those stumps. It's going to be good for us. It's going to be good for Waldorf, and ultimately, it's going to be just help beautify our athletic space.
When what we've learned from this first season in the GPAC, at least something that I've picked up anyway, and it's not hard to pick up on, is you visit these schools that we're competing against. They've put some money into their facilities. They've put some thought. They've got a lot of support from alumni and from obviously the community. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter what school it is. They're all that way. Yes. And so they've all got these beautiful aspects, and so do we. But we're the poor cousins, in my opinion, in the GPAC, and the way to fix that is it takes money. Waldorf knows how to manage its money pretty well. They're debt-free, which is phenomenal in a liberal arts school, and we're very proud of them. And they're on the upward glide path. But everything that we can do as a community to make that a successful organization 100%. is key, and it's good for our students, great for our players, but just the pride of, you and I are lifelong residents of this town. So yes. When both of us have said we look at the Gridiron Club like the Lions or the Rotary Club for us. It's a way to give back to the community. You want to support a large employer in the middle of your small town. It's weird that a town of less than 5,000 people has got a 4-year university in it and a an international company of Winnebago Industries. We're very special place. Extremely. And so I want to make sure that, you do everything you can to make it look good.
And we're getting there. And this is all about the program too, this is the Gridiron Club. And again, we're ultimately, we focus on the football team for the benefit of the university, and everything else. And, Troy, I had to show you my
we don't own those trees.
No.
We
don't own the electrical out there either.
That's right.
Yeah.
It all goes to Waldorf.
Yeah. But I showed you earlier today my latest, kind of tattooed my vehicle with my Waldorf love.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
looks pretty good.
So I finally,
a little jealous. Pretty good.
I've got a black Ford F-150, and of course you're supposed to get blackout plates because it's the Iowa thing to do. Mm-hmm. And if I was my birthday was in November, so my mom wanted to do something. I said, I want personalized plates. I've always wanted. I've never had any personalized plates. So you've heard Troy say it a bunch of times. And right now, my truck is driving around with black out Iowa Winnebago County plates that says Woo Ball.
You're the woo ball guy.
I'm the Woo Ball
That's
guy.
awesome.
I love it.
It's great. I love that it's so Waldorf doesn't have its own license plates yet. You know, like the Iowa does that. We got a zillion licenses. We talked about that.
Go to the treasurer's office and look, because they have like, here's this license plate. This is how many that are out there, and this is how many of them that are personalized. Like Clark. Clark is like, there's 8 Clark license plates. Now, it says that you have to have a minimum order of 200 to be able to start that, from the research that I've done.
Is that right?
But then it says, like, 2019 legislation, 2023 legislation. So I think we get Henry Stone going on that and like pass a license. So
seems like a good
I will get a Waldorf University, go Warriors, Big W, Woo Ball. I'll be the first in line, man.
I mean,
we need to make that happen.
Well, that's one small way that they get additional. I mean, you can raise funds. I don't know. It's a different thing, but
yeah, we need to do it.
I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
It does look good. Plates look good.
I'm pretty happy with them. The truck's dirty right now, but I don't care. Like I said, that was kind of the crown.
Well, you came up. I mean, did you come up with that? Because I didn't call it Woo Ball until you started saying that.
Well, yeah, actually, because it was one of the things that I had always wanted.
Little hashtag type.
It really started with Chase Paramore, because he and I were in his office, and I said, you need to do, like, let's look at Iowa Wesleyan. Iowa Wesleyan came up with the air raid offense. If you came up with an offense that is so hard to defend because it's just something new, and I don't know what the heck that would be.
Me either.
Mind. But then I said, then we'll call it Woo Ball. And he's like, and then as we were talking Woo Ball, Coach Chapa said, I like that.
Yeah,
go with that. And so we've really adopted that. I do a hashtag Woo Ball when I'm saying anything about Waldorf football, just because that's kind of a gridiron little battle cry. It
is, yeah.
But I would love for that to take off. It's not mine. It's not. I don't know if I created it at all. It doesn't matter. But it's on my truck now.
Yeah, it's not like the Tiger Hawk.
No,
you don't get
absolutely
get any money for that.
Nope.
But Woo Ball, that's great. And it's good to see that driving around, and it's you showed me that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was pretty excited. That was a birthday gift from my mother.
Good job, Mom.
Mom's always great. But yeah, just to go through and that was really I'm committed, and I've said this on the program before. And I tell the coaches this, I tell the players this. I am not loyal to a single player or coach on our staff. I'm loyal to this program, and whoever happens to be the coach or the player that's on our staff or on our team, that's the hill I die on.
Yeah.
Because that's Woo Ball to me.
Yeah.
It's family. Mom and dad, if you're, your kid's thinking about Waldorf University and you're like, well, geez, I don't know. And hey, you run across this podcast because you see something. I'll tell you what, and Troy said this, and I always just love it. When they come here, they're ours. We're going to take care of your sons. We're going to make them our own. If they commit to this program, and I'm not talking about just, I'm going to come play football and continue my education and athletic. No. I mean, if they commit to the program, if they commit to the culture, they're going to be ours. And we're going to make sure that they're loved. We're going to make sure that they're taken care of. We're going to make sure that all their needs are met. And that while you're wondering about, my kid is 1,500 miles away, 15 miles away, you're not going to have to worry, because you're going to have all sorts of people in this community making sure that your son's needs are met. And, what we're going to do is we're going to use football to get them through college, get a degree. But more than that, we're going to take those boys that you send us and we're going to turn them into men. And we're going to turn them into the men that you're proud of, because that's how we're going to do it here.
Yeah, it's two sides to the coin on the
For sure.
and those, but they're both positive sides. You'd ask some players, why did you come to Waldorf? To play football. Okay, so you're here to play football, and the advantage is that Luke Byer, you graduate with a degree. Luke will tell you 100%.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here to knock heads. Like, I want to play football.
And he does.
And he did. And recognized in the GPAC too. Yes. Honorable mention. So that's pretty good. Great. And then other people, it's like, well, I came here to get a degree, which is what you'd think college is for, but I also get to play football. And so to me, it's the same. It's the same. It's two sides of the same coin, and I don't really care.
No.
I would say I would. I mean, I can't say this for. I got a pretty good idea. I would say my son Jack is in that Luke Byer category. Like, I'm here to play football, because I'm pretty sure that he would be just as happy out like running a crane or something like that. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? But he's doing well in school, and he's going to get that, working towards that degree as a freshman. I hope things work out, for crying out loud.
Well, and speaking of Jack, you want to talk about all conference honors, honorable mention as a kick return specialist. Freshman, folks.
Yeah.
Recognized for his effort. So if you think that, Jack is a bit of a unicorn in the fact that, he impressed everybody coming in, coaches, his teammates, and nobody's like, how come the freshman's playing? Jack earned his spot.
Yeah.
And did a fantastic job for the Warriors this season. But yeah, it's a lot of times those first year kids, you're going to be developed. You have a set of skills. That's why they gave you an offer. And you're going to come in here and you're going to like, well, I'm just going to stand on the sidelines and play scout team. No, they're going to develop your skills.
Yeah.
When you do indies, when you do drills and stuff like that. And talk to a kid like Luke Byers. He was the kid on the sideline. And now he's in there cracking skulls.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can't leave G out either. I mean,
Gerardo, yeah.
We had him on the show, and then he was on the last Warriors live show, came out after all of that, talked about, I mean, you don't think about the long snapper but it's a skill player position and a specialist, I guess.
You don't notice him unless he makes a mistake.
Yeah. And he got recognized. So
that was awesome.
Pretty awesome. So
we got
three honorable mentions in the G-Pack. You come out 0-11, 0-10 in the G-Pack. It's kind of hard to do. They got great players. Dang it! It's that, and we'll get there. We'll get there too. We
are going to get there.
Yeah, not even a question.
Now next year
we lost on Jack. I can tell you that.
And you know what? Next year, are we going to win the conference? Doubtful.
No.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But the reality is that we're getting there. This is baby steps. You want to build a program. You don't just like, I'm going to go out and just get these guys. Now, they might be convicted felons, but they're really big. Coach isn't doing that. He's finding the people that fit with the culture so that this was and I've said this before, this was one of the most enjoyable seasons. And I will say it was the most enjoyable season that I've had to be part of this. And it's because of the positivity. There isn't that uncomfortable nature of somebody and talking smack about their teammate. You didn't hear that. Now, occasionally people get a little bit, let's say, passionate about something that happened, and they might say something. And it doesn't have to be the coaches going over there saying, watch your mouth. You don't talk that way about your teammate. It was the other teammates, the leaders on that team said, hey. No, that's not the way it goes around here.
Yeah.
So we're going to get there. Our players are going to continue to develop. They're going to get bigger. They're going to get faster. They're going to get stronger. They're going to get better technique wise. And it's going to come. It's going to be a slow process, and that's okay. I've said time and time again, whether here or anybody else, I'll tell the players, I don't care if you win a single game. That doesn't change anything about what I do or how I feel about those people as individuals.
Right. And as long as they're giving it their all, what more can you do? And that's who we're here to support.
Yeah.
So this is the third son that's played football in college, university, I guess. And I've just seen a lot of football, and I feel like that, I know that there are some parents that get really wrapped around the axles about the record this season. Maybe they're upset. Boy, there are some parents. I think they're parents of seniors, so they may not be. They probably won't be coming back anyway. But just vicious in the. My wife was so mad one game because of just the negativity from a particular group of parents. Towards our coaches and our players, shouting at the players and everything like that. And it's like, get out of here. You know what I mean? It's just irrelevant. And that's not what the Gridiron Club does. If we got upset because we lost a game or we boloed a season, whatever. If we did, like, we would be, what would we be actually supporting? So it's that mentality. I hate losing too. we're all very competitive people. We can even have a competition about who's more competitive. But then the chances are is that there's two competitions going on sometimes in that type of competition. Who's more the competition for who's the most competitive is one thing. But typically that turns into the competition for who's the biggest jerk.
Wow, you watched yourself.
I did. I had a little moment there.
We were getting passionate.
And you gotta be careful with that because it's a game. It's a game based on war, and it's not war.
No.
So let's press pause a little bit and get things under control. And I'm only talking to a small fraction of people, but I know that all of these other every one of the teams that visited Waldorf University, whatever their thoughts were about, some of our facilities or whatever, they never complained about our fans. They couldn't believe what we had going on in the tailgate area. They couldn't believe the support that the community had. Yep. They were all impressed.
Yeah.
And made comments to not me. I'm hearing this second or third hand from other people
and good folk. Everybody I met from these other teams are great people.
Right.
It talks about the GPAC.
It does.
And let's back up to these people in the stands that feel like they got to yell at the coaches and yell at the players and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stay home.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, because if you think, I'm going to try to watch my language here.
I did
because, and I'm going to try to take your lead, Troy. I appreciate that. But you stand on that sideline against these kids that are giving everything that they can. The coaches are doing everything that they can, and it's not going well because we're playing Morningside or we're playing a team that maybe we should have competed against and they had some lucky breaks. I don't know.
Yeah.
But things didn't go well this year. And for you to sit there and say some of the hateful, stupid, uneducated things, if you think those kids can't hear you, you're even a bigger moron than what you sound like.
Yeah. And I think that people get upset. And I hate, and I feel that too, but I'm just able to separate something. I mean, there's a switch. There's a switch when you play football. If everybody was on high speed, we'd have nothing but sociopaths.
That's true.
And we need those 130 players on Waldorf in every football program to be able to flip the switch. When you're on the field, you're a monster, and when you're off the field, you're not. So, I just need the parents to do the same thing too.
It'd be great.
And it's not. It's like I said. It's a tiny fraction of.
Oh, absolutely. It's very few. But they're the most vocal, aren't they?
Most adults usually get it. I don't think the ones that I'm thinking of, unfortunately, fortunately, I guess, won't be back. That so I don't want to name names, and I'm not going to do that. But so it's just something for everybody to be aware of. And I'm not even a good sportsmanship advocate. Like that's not believe me. Like the best thing about college football is, despite the disclaimer that I read every single home game, and they read it at every game I've been to everywhere about good sportsmanship. We can all be blah, blah, blah. But it's not. At a high school game, you'll get kicked out. There's problems, and they're very, it's just like we've gotten weak. But in college football, you can still be a maniac, and that's fine. But be a maniac against the other team. If we do it against our players, what's the point? Go switch sides, Yeah,
don't start yelling and cheering when the other team breaks a leg or something like that, which we had a kid break his leg, and all you saw was concern from the Northwestern team.
I saw a whole other team. This is all a conference of Christian schools. I saw that other team take a knee, and then I saw him pray. And that's what you should be doing.
That's what the GPAC is about. Yeah. Don't be that low-class person. And again, you're standing there, you're yelling these things, and if I didn't think Chad Gassman wouldn't run all the way from the concession stand and tackle me, I really wanted to turn around, find the person that was yelling some of these things and say, what exactly should we do? You seem to know a lot. Why don't you come down here?
Yeah.
But then I know that's going to create problems for Chad Gassman, and I have too much respect for him to do that. And I think he would have tackled me as he then had me escorted off.
Well, a lot of times I asked, I asked Jack, but then I asked Tate and Tanner too when they were playing ball, whether they could hear. And they always said they said they couldn't hear anything. The players are not paying attention to the crowd. But so maybe the players don't hear it. But you know who does? It's the people around you.
Yeah.
And that is just as bad.
And you look foolish.
It is exactly right.
You know.
So I guess that was brought up based on you talking about, as we recruit, you're not recruiting felons, you're not recruiting, and there's a reason for that. Well, the GPAC isn't doing that either. So it's like assimilate, and figure that out. We've got a great team of great kids that are giving their absolute best, and we're just going to keep on keeping on and getting 100%. Better every season. And I'm excited for it. So I didn't want to take that down at post-Thanksgiving grump fest there, but sometimes it's good for us to get that out.
Yep.
And just to let people know, that that's the case. I do not, and that being said, I actually, my wife has less tolerance for both of these things than I do, but neither one of us I can handle mouthy parents because I'm a talkative guy and I can be mouthy and I've said things that I regret later, quite a bit. I got, I got podcasts, so but I would say I am not a fan of chippy attitudes on the team. And that is being reformed and weeded out. And that's part of why the team was so great to work with this year.
Couldn't agree more.
But there was still some chippiness, and I think it's one thing to be competitive and to get after it, and it's another thing to be pulling sneaky crap. You're frustrated, so now you're taking cheap shots on another team and player stuff like that. They don't do that in the GPAC.
No,
not that I saw. Now maybe they do. They're just so good at it we didn't see it.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think they just play straight up. If they're going to beat you, they're going to beat you the right way. And
Walsh got to up the game, and coach knows that, the staff knows that, and the players get it too. And I think they're happy to be where they're at. Frustrated maybe with the record, but thankful that they're in the GPAC. And
couldn't agree.
And that's a great place to be.
Yeah, and Waldorf, our student athletes, and we don't have much of this anymore, but one of the things that kind of kept us from getting to that next level when we were even more successful is that idea that when you're out there, when you're out on the field, you need to care about those 10 other men that are out there more than yourself. And then you need to make sure that you're gonna do everything you can for your brothers that are on your left and your right. And we're getting there.
Yeah.
It's really, again, it was a joy this year.
Absolutely was a joy. That is what we just celebrated with Thanksgiving. You give thanks to God. That's the whole purpose of the things that you can. Well, hopefully you give thanks to God every day. But we at least do it once a year as a nation. I saw a statistic. I didn't read it. I saw it on YouTube or something. But I saw a statistic. So who knows how accurate it is? 86% of statistics are made up. So, but they had stated that something like 40, not quite half. So 40-some%, maybe in that, but gives thanks to God, praise at their Thanksgiving dinner. That's surprisingly low.
Yeah.
I would think for Thanksgiving, everybody would pray. But 68% does the go around the table and says what you're thankful for.
Yeah.
And that was surprising to me too, because you start with giving thanks to God. Everything comes from God. Everything, and football does too.
You bet.
And I love seeing our players take a knee in the prior to the game, and saying their prayers down in the end zone.
Yep.
I know that you walk the field at Bullstorf Field, and you just do exactly what I was praying for at 4:30 in the morning on Saturday was making sure that this is a safe, that we're successful, if it be your will, and that people, will benefit from this for your glory. That this will show the end result will be in your name, and so we came off with a great success on Thursday, and now it's been a thankful. Man, I can't believe the season's over. We've been yabbering about it for a long time.
Get excited about it, and then we talk about it, and then here we are. Yeah. It's over.
And I tell you, we've got listeners from other places. I met the future mother-in-law talking about GPAC honors.
Yeah.
The Northwestern running back, who's the first team guy.
Yeah, of course.
He's fifth-year senior, and I'm not remembering his name. So if she's listening to this, hello. And, very proud for good reason.
And she'd ought to be.
Yeah, and that's he's marrying her daughter. So I met her at the I was at a school board conference this last week.
That's wonderful.
and found out that I was wearing the Waldorf stuff, and
Sure.
you got to have good sense of humor about it.
Yeah. How do you like the Red Raiders now? Still love them.
Yeah.
Still love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, you talk about, praying for thy will be done. And, that's one of the most impactful things in that Lord's Prayer of ours. Just because sometimes you don't feel like it makes a lot of sense. 0-11 doesn't make a lot of sense. And that is God's will for this team and these young men. And you have to realize, in the grand scheme of things, you don't understand what's really happening. And there's reasons for everything.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't seem fair. I mean, and I'm going to go off on a tangent here. I've been praying for a friend of mine's husband for a very, very long time. Very young man with a 3-month-old son died.
That's right.
Pancreatic cancer. Jared Beecher is his name. And that was always my prayer. Is that, Lord, your will be done on this. And I know that I don't understand it. I know that I will not understand. Someday I'll be able to stand before you and it'll all make sense. But until that time comes, I just need to trust that your will is being done. And that's the same thing for our team and these young men. If you think that we don't pray for them and care for them, you're wrong. We do. Every day, every time that we have a home game, I'm out on the 50-yard line at some point, and I try to do it when it's a quiet time where I don't want to do something where it's like, ooh, look, there he is again. That's not what my prayer life is about. And I pray for safety and good sportsmanship. I pray for the fans. I pray for the coaches. I pray for our players and our opponents, because that's what it's all about. And ultimately, thy will be done.
Absolutely. Yeah, they say to know the knowable is the human thing, and to have faith in the unknowable is the human thing, because that's God. God takes care of that part of it, and so we don't know what the future will hold. But that's the fun part of being a fan.
Good things, man.
That's right.
I'm so excited about it. And again, it was a tough season. Big deal.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about the trajectory of this team. Yeah. We are going to get better. It's going to take longer.
Yeah.
And
I'm happy to be here at the ground floor.
Amen.
That's how I look at it.
Amen. Exactly. It's like buying Bitcoin for $20.
You go back 50 years ago, and football lore at Waldorf University, and really tearing it up. Bolstorff years and the 2-year JUCO college and stuff like that. They didn't have winning. They weren't always great, but there was a think how different it would be when 50 years from now. I'm like, good Lord, we're probably not going to make it. But they look back 50 years ago. Who was around? Those black and white photographs, the bad clothes they wore, and all that other haircuts and everything like that. But they were in on the ground floor of success, and I'm glad that's how I look at this right now.
I couldn't agree more.
Thank God we've got wonderful color digital photographs in our. I mean, I don't have hair, but if I did, I'm sure it would be timeless.
Glorious head of hair.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, well, I think that's going to wrap up. This is a great episode, Troy.
It was
always
fun.
Good just to sit here and sit around, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. Send us a message. Let us know what you think, or if you have any things. And folks out there, I hope you gave thanks yesterday. I hope you gave thanks and then just soaked it all in, that time amongst the people that you love. So, Troy, I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for this podcast, this university, our football team, each and every one of our players. And may God bless you and your family for all the years to come, my friend.
Right back at you. That's a quick way of saying it. You took all the good words.
Yeah, I tried to do that. Yeah. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast. Thanks so much for taking some time out of your day to join us. For Troy Thompson, this is Andy Buffington, and forever and always, go Warriors. You can join the Waldorf Gridiron Club and be part of the best small college football experience in America.
Just visit our website and pick your membership level. Find us and everything Waldorf Gridiron Club related, including professional photos, at waldorfgridironclub.org.
You can also click on the Support the Show link in the show notes to donate.
And you can even use the United States Postal Service by sending your check to the Waldorf Gridiron Club, P.O. Box 125, Forest City, Iowa, 50436.
It's tax exempt, hassle-free, and has a level for every budget.
That's right. Anyone can join, even our rivals.
Show your colors. Join the Gridiron Club today.
Get it?
Got it. Fantastic.
The Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast is hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson. Produced by Sunnyside Farm Studios in beautiful rural Forest City, Iowa. Platformed by Buzzsprout and music by Soundstripe. The Waldorf Gridiron Club is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the student athletes of the Waldorf University football program. Our mission is to assist the program in maintaining the best small college football experience in America.